Amina, it's time for E-KIDZ. Yeah. Okay, so let's go. What kind of tree fits in your hand? A palm tree. What dinosaur had the best vocabulary? A fossilis. And on your chest, wear the protection of right lip in Ephesians 6:14.
So excited for week number 2 of our Armor of God series. Are you excited? I had so much fun learning about the belt of truth last week with Pastor Rachel. And this is the belt of truth that I got to make for our craft last week. So today we're on our second piece of armor, and it's the chest plate of righteousness. Now sometimes it's also called the breastplate of righteousness, and it's a special piece of armor that soldiers would put over their chest and their stomach to protect them from attack. So today I've got a really special friend who's going to teach us all about the chest plate of righteousness. Her name is Pastor Haley, and she comes from Ottawa, Ontario, and she's the children's pastor at Community Church over there. So get cozy, sit down, open up your ears, open up your hearts as we listen to Pastor Haley teach us all about the chest plate of righteousness.
How many of you have ever seen a picture, or maybe in a museum you've seen what armor looks like, or Roman soldiers' armor? Anyone? I know I definitely have. And so the central part, the main part of a Roman soldier's armor is the breastplate, and it protects a lot of very important organs in a soldier's torso. And one of the main organs that it protects is their heart. And so God, He tells us that we also need to put on a breastplate to protect our hearts as well. And so that's not necessarily from physical attacks, but from attacks of God's enemy, and even from ourselves. Our heart is the most important part for many reasons, but in this case, it is where Jesus comes to live when we ask Him to be our friends, and it's often where we listen to when we need to make decisions. So does this feel right? Does this feel good? Should I do this? That is what the breastplate is. And so the breastplate of righteousness, we're going to talk about what righteousness is, because God tells us that we need to put on the breastplate of righteousness to protect our hearts. So you may be thinking, Pastor Haley, what does righteousness mean? It means being right with God and being God's friend, making right choices, obeying God, listening to God. To be right with God means that we know the truth of Him and what Jesus has done for us. So Jesus dying on the cross. He wants you to really believe that with your heart. Being right with God means that we have a clean heart. It means being honest, which sometimes is not that easy. Saying sorry for everything that you have done and everything that you will do, because no one is perfect and we all mess up. But the amazing thing is that when we make that decision to have God be our friend, we are then asking God, hey, can you forgive us forever? And He will, but just constantly always asking for forgiveness when we do mess up. And boys and girls, you know what? It makes me think of this black heart. Before we are right with God, our heart is full of sin from all the things that we have done, all the things that we have said, and even the things that we have thought. And you know what? God's enemy, he wants our hearts to stay like this. But the amazing thing is that God, he cleans our hearts, and it makes me think of this red heart. It turns us from you know, being sinful and choosing what we want and only what we want, to obeying God and being right with God, and constantly asking for forgiveness and Him forgiving us all of the time, saying sorry. It's just really important. So what does it mean to put on the breastplate of righteousness? Something that I teach my kids at Community Kids is to visualize it as maybe a t-shirt or a sweater or a jacket. When you put that on, you're protecting your skin, you're protecting something. And so when we put on the breastplate of righteousness, we're protecting our hearts from sin and learning to be righteous. So learning to be right before God. Now, when the breastplate of righteousness is something that we need to wear every single day. And so when you wear a jacket, when you wear a t-shirt, does it just stay in the closet or does it just stay in the drawer? No, you have to put that on every single day. And so how do you put on the breastplate of righteousness? When we pray to God and we make the right decision before Him by Him forgiving us of our sins, when we read our Bibles, that's a really important one. When we spend time seeing what God has called us to do and how to be right with Him, and when we do our best to do what is right. Those are some pretty awesome things that we're able to do every single day, asking God for the right decision to obey Him every single day. So boys and girls, I just pray that you will be reminded of that this morning. When you put on your jackets, when you put on your t-shirts, you are making the decision to be right with God. And it is a reminder, these can be reminders to you to do what is right and obey God and all that He has told you to do. So I pray that you will remember that, boys and girls.
Hello kids! Today I'm gonna show you how to make this cool chest plate of righteousness. You just basically need cardboard, paint or markers, anything you have at home to color, scissors, and also pencil and ruler. It's basically like that. Oh, important, you can use your creativity as well. Let's start. So to make this cool chest plate of righteousness, you're gonna need an old cardboard box, right? So first thing you have to do is to cut these parts. So you're gonna need 2 parts to make the front and the back, okay? Let's do it. First, you need to cut. You can ask an adult to help you with this task, okay? Okay, now that you have your cardboard here, you're just gonna need to find the middle of your cardboard piece, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I just gonna consider this part of our, to make your chest plate, your measurements like this way, like in a t-shirt. So I'm gonna just use this part, so I need to find the middle of this piece, which is gonna be, so basically you're gonna mark the middle and count 7 inches, which means 3.5 inches to the left and 3.5 inches to the right from the middle piece that you just found. So now that you mark as well like this, you're gonna need 2 inches vertically from the middle point that you found in the first step. So now that you have this, you have to make like this neck here from that that measurement that we just did. So now you're gonna need to do the arm. So you're gonna need around 2.5 inches from the neck, the little curve you made for the neck, for each side, and mark it down. You're gonna need around 9 inches down, but depends on how tall you are. Basically, like, measure your arm from the shoulder to more or less around here. It's easy. So I'm gonna mark 6 to be proportional. And then I kind of make like a curve. So here I got a device for you. What you're gonna do, you're gonna start by cutting this part and the side of your arm, and I'm gonna explain why. Let me cut it first. You don't throw out this part, keep it, okay? Okay, now we have here this part that I took, right? I'm gonna cut this a little bit later. So just to make sure that you're gonna do this arm and this arm proportionally, you just get this piece that you just cut off, flip this way, and then just mark it again, and then just cut it again. And then you can cut the neck area. Done. So now we need to do here in the bottom, just cut a little line this way, just to be very cool this edge. After having 2 pieces with you, the back and the front, I'm gonna show you what is the next step. For now, I don't have time to show you how to do the back, but basically you just need to mark like this in the back and cut it, which means the second part of your box that you just started, okay? So now what we have to do is to get your ribbon, if you have. If you don't have, you can use any kind of thread like this, so we can connect our shoulders and the 2 pieces in the side as well, like this way, okay? So what you have to do is to cut, like more or less you measure like here from your back and just the beginning of your shoulder like this. For me, that gave me around 10 inches. For you, that will be around 5 or 6 inches, okay? So let me cut 2 pieces of this. And then I cut the side. The side, I think you're gonna need around 10 inches each side, okay? So get your ribbon this way and cut here, and then in a half. Now that you have your sides and your ribbon, you just need to staple it together. And then here in the side, be careful with this process to don't staple your finger. You can ask your parents help to do this part for you, okay? So flip it. Now you have your chest plate of righteousness, ready to go to be decorated. But first, we need to do this little shoulder part. So what you're gonna need, you're gonna get another piece of your box, right? So what you have to do is 7 to 10 inches. You're gonna need to mark it down, and 3 inches here. So what you're gonna do is just mark a semicircle, cut. So this is gonna be your shoulder here. So cut 2 pieces of this, okay? So now that you have your piece in your hand, what you need to do is to roll around this way just to give the format, so that's gonna be following your shoulder. See how it gets curvy? Ready to go? So get your chest plate again. On top of this part, you're gonna get your stapler. So you're gonna need 2 pieces in this side as well, and then you tie everything together in the other side. okay? So basically, that's how it's gonna be. You're gonna have your shoulders and your chest plate, and you can write the word for today, the chest plate of righteousness. And then you just need to have fun with your knight armor. Next week, I'm gonna show you the next part of our armor of God. I see you there. Bye!
Oh yes! Oh yes!
All right, listen up, soldiers, because there's a couple of important announcements that I need to tell you about. First of all, we still have Zoom calls this entire month of August. And from August 3rd to 21st, all age levels are working on the fruit of the Spirit. And if you're in grades 1 to 4, we're going to be including some special videos from Micah's super vlog to help us learn about it, so you don't want to miss that. And think of inviting your friends, because I have a feeling they'd have a lot of fun. Also, we love to see the different pieces of armor that you're creating from week to week during our Armor of God series here on E-KIDZ. This is the belt of truth that I worked on last week. So if you got a picture of any armor you've made, make sure to send it our way and we'll put it on our Facebook page and include it in our videos. Plus, if you've got some fun pictures from anything at all you've done this summer, we'd love to see that too. So speaking of that, let's check them out. Whoa, that looked like so much fun. You guys are really enjoying your summer, and I'm super happy to see that. So don't miss out for next week, as we're on week 3 of our Armor of God series. And next week is extra special because we've got 2 guest speakers in one session, and we're gonna be learning about the shield of faith and the shoes of peace. Now speaking of peace, peace out. I'm out of here because I gotta go work on my chest plate of righteousness.